You're now listening to the AITB podcast.
All right, your body is ready.
Oh,
All right, what's going on, everybody? Shit, now I feel like I'm a little too loud. It's been fucking months since done the last fucking podcast. When was that? That was
a minute ago. Yeah,
February, right? Yeah,
that sounds about right. You were about to go out of town, so it was.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Italy for my birthday.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that had to be in March when or February when we recorded to put it out by March. So we're in fucking damn near July now.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
About to be my birthday. So.
Oh shit! Well, happy early birthday.
Thanks.
Fucking anything new since the last time? Any updates?
I mean, I think I can't remember if I had mentioned on the podcast, but I think I did. Like I was trying to get 30 pieces done in this
oh, that's
year,
right.
It's
my
30th anniversary, and I'm like really fell off in the like basically since we talked. But I mean, it still could happen. But it's
yeah.
I've been just super busy with family.
I feel it,
and I've had a couple like mural gigs that have been happening. So that's I mean, which is great. That's good.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean,
takes away from the lettering painting, but it's still,
Yeah, but you got to pay bills first, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, it fills the wallet so that,
fucking speaking of filling the wallet, so the last couple months and shit, when I was doing the podcast with you, I was just doing like sign painting work on the side.
Okay.
And it was definitely enough to cover the bills. But I have expensive tastes.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, man. And so I actually, you know what? Here's a good thing, because every podcast I always try to do like some sort of advice. Okay. For like the youth and shit like that. Right. And I just if I can give either my experience or our guest experiences to help kids, it's totally worth it, right? So I think the takeaway from this podcast episode is you should lie on your resume. 100%.
Okay.
Well, because I was doing the just the printing and the sign painting, but I was like, fuck, man, maybe I should just get like a little shitty part-time, something small, right. Something, just to fill in a couple gaps in, financial shit.
Yeah.
And so I applied to be just like a shitty little merchandiser at this company, just counting stock and shit for whatever they do.
Okay.
And every time I've always lied on my resume. And so like when I was like 18, I worked at a cell phone company, and they gave me like a key, just to like open the store in the day. It wasn't even like in a corporate cell phone company. It was just like a shittily authorized dealer. Right. And he was like, here's a key so you can open in the morning. And so I just said that I was the store manager on my resume for like a big company.
Right.
And so when I had the interview with the regional director of this new company, he was like, oh man, why do you even want to be like a merchandiser? And I was like,
right.
I just cause he's like, I really need a manager. And after the interview, I ended up finessing like a district manager position.
Oh, wow.
So now I run the entire Bay Area here for this company.
Nice.
And I work remotely, and I have like a salary position. I mean, like as we're recording, I'm getting paid.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So lie on your resume.
Right.
It pays off.
Yeah, just hope they're not listening to the podcast.
Fuck them, honestly. I mean, they have no idea of the shit that I do, like, extracurricular activities. So.
Right.
Fuck that. If you can get over, also by law, they can only, if they call your previous employer, they can only verify that you work there and the dates that you work there. They're not allowed to ask anything else.
Really?
Yeah. That's like a law thing.
Wow,
so
that's nuts.
Yeah. So fuck it. I mean, the little shitty company wasn't going to even answer the phone to talk about me. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like, I've been freelance for ever.
Yeah.
Really, I haven't applied for a job in a lifetime, and
fuck yeah.
But I do have to, because as a freelance, like especially like muralist, I'm always. It's kind of like interviewing all the time, which sucks. You know what I mean? But I don't have like I barely have to do a resume, and I'm writing like grant proposals all the time and shit like that. But it's not it's not quite the same type of interview, I feel like, you know.
Right. So you have to do like a lot of bids and shit like that, you
Yeah,
know?
I do a lot of bids and because I like to try to, like, with my work stuff, I prefer working for like the city or like governments is great because
for sure,
it's just like everything is set when you're working for like private companies doing, especially like art or murals. They, you know, they try to get over, they try to like lowball you all the
trust
time.
me, I know.
Whereas if I'm doing it for the county or the city or the state or whatever, it's like
they just say
the budget is set, you know, and it's like take it or leave it. To me, and usually the budget is better than I'll get, you know, even when I was doing graphic design freelance, like I prefer working for a smaller company. The bigger the corporation is, like the more they're trying to squeeze out of you.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Doing murals for like, you know, Joe Schmo at their house is always whack because, you know, it's like they try to undercut you and all kinds of shit. And she's like, bro, doing this shit for like over a fucking decade. Well, you longer, obviously, 30 years. But they're always like, oh, yeah, you know, paint my, you know, spend an entire weekend of your time for like a couple $100. And you're like, yeah, suck a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
But you know, that's where it's at. So I'm just like, I just finished up a mural on the a navigation center for like unhoused young people.
Oh shit. That's sick.
Yeah, which is super dope and real, like just dope to be able to, you know, sort of give back to that community and like the kids. I mean, they're like 18 to 25, so they're not kids, but they're young
right
kids compared to me. But
True54 is for the children.
Yeah, exactly. But it's dope, like just interacting and seeing how much it's appreciated, you know, like
of course,
kids who've been on the street and just haven't had a lot of opportunities, you know, and then to feel like just so that was a real dope. I'm real proud of the mural too. It came out really good. So
no, that's really fucking dope, man. You know, it sucks being troubled youth. Yeah, I mean, I myself, not to get like super deep, but like am troubled youth is why I fucking was like a graffiti writer asshole and like just, you know, I'm gonna destroy shit, you know.
Yeah, I think most people in this lifestyle
right have
had their struggles. I mean, I was never on the streets, thank heavens, but you know,
right but you know, you go through some shit or whatever, right, until you get to this thing in your head when you're like, fuck everyone.
yeah exactly, right.
I feel the fuck out of that. That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. I was actually listening to the previous podcast as we were speaking right before we hopped on. Yeah. And we had left off. We'd already talked about the history of like you being at Thrasher, right? Kind of what was going on early 90s to basically about 2000. Yep. And so the cutoff was, and by the way, once again, I apologize to everyone for the technical difficulties starting a podcast and literally not knowing shit.
We're gonna have to make it better this time.
Yeah, exactly. There's a fucking memory card with 25 hours completely, even though we're not gonna talk 25 hours, but
don't worry.
It's all set with the proper settings, so there should be no cutoffs.
Right.
So you were in Bangkok?
Yep.
And Cider, MSK, did a mural, and you ended up catching the magazine.
Yep. And then we hooked up. Is that right where we dropped out?
It dropped off right when you were like, oh, I recognize the dude's art. And then, literally that's where it cut off. And so, if you want to continue from there.
Yeah. So I was, I'd seen this magazine on the streets or in a magazine shop or whatever. And then, so I was able to find his email online, and this is like pretty early on. It was like a message board or something, anyway. And I just like hit him on a message board, hit him with a random email, and I was like, "Yo, I don't know if you remember, we met back in San Francisco, like really briefly at this wall one time. It looks like you might live in Bangkok. Like, I'm here for a couple weeks or a week.
Let's
hook up." And so we did, and then it turned out that Jace BA was there at the same time.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And so he hit me back, and he was like, "Yo, me and this guy Jace are gonna be painting tomorrow. You should come meet us at the spot, and we could all paint together." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Fuck, you know? Yeah.
So I did, and then we just like kicked it for a week or something. We painted a bunch, and me and Jace hung out a ton, and Jace was kind of like like wilding out and needed like a break from Bangkok. So like me and him and my girlfriend, wife, my girlfriend at the time, all went to the islands for a couple of days, like to
awesome,
kick it,
man.
and then like came back. But I think the one of the coolest part about that whole, I mean, it was super dope so much cool shit happened in just like a week and a half or something, or a week. But one cool thing was that there was this abandoned building right next to the SkyTrain, which is like the elevated.
Okay, kind of like you mean like with Barton, Oakland, where it's like hanging above the street and shit like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sweet.
So there was like this building that was under construction, but it had just like construction had stopped and it had just been sitting there for a while.
Oh, interesting.
And me and Jace and this other American dude who used to spend like half the year in Bangkok and half the year, I don't know where in the States, probably somewhere in
by
California.
country.
Yeah,
that's tight.
He was like a DJ and he wrote, a little bit, and so the three of us, like he spoke Thai, which was important.
Yeah, for sure. It gets you around, right?
Yeah. So
it gets you good deals on food and shit.
Yeah.
I get fucked over.
Yeah. So he was like, I've been looking. I don't remember if it was he had been looking at the spot or me and Jace had spotted or one of us. But anyway, one night we were like, yo, we should go hit that spot and just do some like throw ups like by the train, that you could see from the train. Like we can get up there. And so we hopped this fence and we're like trying to find a staircase to get up, because it was probably like 10 stories up or something, 8 stories up, to be able to see it from the train.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not quite that. I mean, 5 or 6 stories, whatever it was. But so we're trying to find the stairs, and a dog like comes like running at us,
like a big ass dog,
like a big ass like guard dog, like, and all of a sudden it was like out of a cartoon or something. It just like stopped, like it was on a chain. And it got stopped like by the chain pulling its neck.
It's kind of like, well, I mean, were you ever a big Super Mario fan?
A little bit, not super, but
I'm a huge fucking nerd. But
okay.
I don't know if you remember the little chomps.
Okay,
they're like, it's like a chain or whatever, and he'll lunge at you,
right, and get stopped. But
there's like a certain limit where he can get to. So it was like some shit like that.
It was exactly like that.
That's fucking awesome.
And then we're like, fuck, what do we do? Because it was like kind of in front of where the stairs were.
Uh-huh.
And then this like old Thai dude comes out, and he's like kind of yelling at us in Thai or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
homie was able to translate.
And he was able to translate. And then he's like talking to the dude for a minute, and the guy's like kind of calming down, and then he turns to me and Jason. He's like, well, he'll let us paint for 50 baht, or I can't remember what it was, like each, which
Cash
was
me out.
which was like the equivalent of like $3, or it was like it was very little, it was very, and we were like, okay, cool.
I would have
he's
a
like
solid $20.
He's like, well, he'll walk us up there and everything.
Oh my god, the fucking red carpet treatment to go fucking hit a heaven.
Right. So then we like paint, so we do throw ups, and mine was super shitty. I remember specifically, but of course Jason's was dope because he's like throw up king. But
right, did he do a full 4 letters or just his JE?
I can't. I'm sure he did 4 letters because we spent like a minute. It wasn't just they were like very simple pieces.
Yeah,
2 color pieces.
Yeah, the 4-letter throw is very rare, right? Because everyone's used to saying just the standard JE.
Yeah, I actually don't have flicks of it. I wish I did.
Oh, that would have been cool.
But I know I took them because after we were done, or somebody took them. So Jace probably has them. We took some flicks and the flash went off, and the dude flipped out. He was like super upset because he thought we were going to get him in trouble or something.
Yeah, like, hey, you're making it hot.
Yeah, right. And so then we bounced. We were done, and then 5 years, I think it was 5 years later, I went back to Bangkok, like on a separate trip.
Yeah.
And that spot, there was nothing on that spot when we went. When I went back 5 years later.
So you popped the cherry.
Dude, that place was killed. I don't know if it's still there, but it was just crushed the whole spot. And so that was like real dope that we kind of like
you set it off.
Yeah. And then the other, actually I feel like, Bangkok is like has a special place in my graph life.
Yeah.
Like that spot, we definitely set that spot off, like in credit to Jason. I think dude wrote Ofe was what he wrote. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then also when I went back that 5 years later, me and Cider did roller pieces, like huge roller pieces. I don't even like a massive roller pieces. And I remember he was like, yo, these are for sure the biggest pieces that have ever been painted in Thailand, and they're like, and probably the first roller pieces ever done in Thailand. So
are you doing like rollers like super high up, or are you just doing
this was in a parking lot, like kind of right off.
So you're doing like a roller fill and then coming back with the spray paint to do outlines and details. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, each letter was probably 10 feet tall and fucking massive.
Wow.
There's flicks of that actually somewhere. It was in because I did an article for a Mass Appeal magazine, which is like a hip hop magazine.
Okay.
It's not around. Actually, it is around online now, but when it was still paper magazine.
Oh, word.
Actually, Nas bought it and like
no shit
brought it back. Yeah, weirdly
That's
enough,
tight.
it had kind of like died, with magazines.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did an article and there's flicks of those roller pieces in that somewhere. So if anybody has,
I wonder if that's archived.
It might
in Mass Appeal, right?
It could be, yeah. I don't know. I should go check.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick. Yeah. I need to start like a little blog or something for All in the Bag, so that way when we talk about these things, I can actually be like, "Hey, send me those pictures."
Yeah, because I do have that magazine.
Really?
For sure, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was probably like 2005, 2006 that came out.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was just in the city yesterday, 2 days ago. Well, it doesn't matter, but I seen you, Evail, and is it Jefe? It's you're in the middle. It's like a yellow piece. Evail's like blue, and there's like a brown and white piece to the right of you. It's right off of what is that? That's like Waterloo. It's like when you get off of Alamany. Kind of by the not the flea market, but like a farmer's market area.
Yeah.
And then you go a little bit past. There's like that building that's been crushed for years.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like just a straight black wall.
Right. Oh, it says Jerk. Yeah, it's
Jerk.
This dude, Jerk.
Okay.
He's this dude from who doesn't really write anymore, but used to write.
Okay.
And was like real tight with Evail. They both came up in Milwaukee, and they both live out here now. But
sick.
But yeah, we did that. Mine is like yellow with like a red outline.
Red, exactly. Yeah. I love the stars in the background.
Oh, thanks.
And it's like super subtle. It's like just a shade or two darker than the actual background. I saw that and I was like, because I took a picture and so like you don't see it in the picture unfortunately, but then when you're in person, it's like that subtlety, you appreciate it so much more.
Right.
I really liked it. But that was a roller fill, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The yellow is like a lot of times with yellow, I like to
the opacity on yellow is trash.
Yeah, exactly. If if it's a chill wall or a legal wall or whatever, like
then you can pack it in.
Take the time, even if it's like man, just put a white
a white
for the
base,
kids, like put a white base and then do your yellow.
Right.
But yeah, I have so much roll paint from my work.
Yeah.
That I like to sometimes just do a base color,
Yeah, I don't blame you. My apartment complex actually in like our garbage chute and shit, like right next to the recycling, for some reason they always throw away just like half buckets of paint. They'll they'll redo the apartments in the area and shit just to get them for like new tenants, and then they'll just won't use the rest of it. So I'm like constantly storing fucking buckets of paint. Yeah. So trust me, I know the roller fill.
You got tons of white and tan and taupe.
Yeah, exactly. But you sprinkle and fucking do all kinds of shit on top of it. But the only reason why I brought that up is because you said obviously you did a roller fill in Bangkok, and then it reminded me because at the bottom of your piece it looks like the fill broke through over the outline and kind of dripped over, and I was like, oh, that's got to be a roller fill.
I put like extra paint on there.
Yeah. Just Salt Bay,
the
piece. I feel it. That's what's up, man. Fucking Bangkok. That's
So that was Bangkok. That was a super tight trip, and met Jason. Then we stayed friends. I haven't talked to him in a minute. He moved down south, and I haven't talked to him in a while. But yeah, that's the homie.
He's is he with Spray Planet?
Yeah. Yep. Well, last I heard, he's been with Spanish Montana forever.
Right. No, I know that's kind of been his thing. Because I know, and I think we talked about this on the last one about them being in South City originally, and then now they're in LA and shit. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yeah. Fucking, got to do your thing, right? Hustle.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Spray Planet. Actually, reposted one of my videos recently because since the last time we saw, I was in Italy,
right?
And I I popped open like a Heineken beer with a bottle or with a spray can.
Oh yeah.
And Spray Planet reposted it. And
Oh,
everyone
nice.
was making fun of me. They're like, your beer's foaming. And you fucking didn't open your shit. I'm like, dude,
right. Come on.
It was supposed to be like a stupid little story, just like, hey, I'm drinking a beer in Italy. Fuck you guys. What are you doing? But then everyone wants to just rag on me.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you used the wrong side of the bottle. I'm like,
right.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, right. It still tasted all right.
Yeah, it was great. I got faded as fuck in Milan.
Yeah.
Italy was great, man. It was. Have you ever been?
I have. Yeah, Italy's, man, I love Italy. Italy's so dope.
Yeah.
I love Naples. It's my favorite city in Italy.
Oh,
Hands
word.
down, Naples is amazing.
Didn't get to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've been all over Europe. I lived in France when I was a kid, and we used to go like for like a year when I was a kid, and we went all around Europe. That was when I was a kid, but then I've been back a few times. Like my brother used to live in Paris, so I used to go see him and then travel around. And
have you been to Paris since?
I've been to Paris like 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I went like 2020.
Okay,
so it's been 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't been. We went to Europe with my family like 5 years ago.
Okay. Sick. Did you paint out there?
I painted in Barcelona with a dude from Spanish Montana, actually. Jace.
Sick.
Thank you, Jace.
Again. Yeah, he set it up.
He set it up. He put me in touch with those guys, and then I painted with this dude who writes Japon or Japon, like Japan.
Oh, okay.
In Spanish, and he's man, super fucking cool dude. And I don't really want to blow up his spot, but he's like one of the most legendary clean train or like subway writers in Spain. He's
dude, that shit is
legendary.
No joke.
But his like wall name is Japan.
Oh, okay. So he's got a different name.
He's got a different name for trains.
I've noticed that though, because I painted with a guy Checo. Shout out to Checo in Milan, and he was like, yeah, but I write this on trains, and I was like, why? And he's like, dude, it's hot. It's like no joke.
But that dude was, Japan, he was super cool. He took me to he's in VLOK, which is like Oceano's crew, and he had like this whole like giant parking lot with all these walls, and it's mostly all like VLOK pieces and like legendary like European writers and South American writers and shit. And he we did a piece on one of those walls. It was super fun. He was mad cool. And the Spanish Montana dudes, I don't use their paint as much anymore, but those guys are super. They were really great to me when I was out there. Jace has always been awesome to me. So I know they have their issues with the other, but I have with
German Montana.
With German Montana.
Yeah. I mean, do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, because I'm cool with both of those companies.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, like
okay.
I'm like mad. Like now, I'm like more connected with the German. Like I get the German stuff.
Okay, well, so True54 drinks Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I fuck with any paint, man.
No,
but,
for sure.
All of that shit is, and it's you can't front on the quality of.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna say it right because I have no affiliation to either. And for the youth, if anyone's interested, what the difference between Montana, Germany, and Montana, Spain is: Montana, Spain started in '94, and they obviously did really well. They started growing like crazy, so they needed national distribution. So they reached out to Duplicolor in Germany, which was one of the biggest spray painting companies that was distributing and manufacturing in Europe. So rather than say, yeah, for sure, we'll distribute for you, they found the guy that owns the patent to Montana, bought it, and was like, fuck you, we're stealing your whole idea, and we're just going to undercut everyone and destroy you and just wash you out of the water. And that's why they switched over to MTN versus Montana. So
it was like and it's fucked up. I mean, it's super fucked up. They took the name, especially because it was named after dude's dog, like the Spanish. It's like not even
pretty shady. So
it's like pretty, But I feel like at this point, it's like so like both companies seem like they're doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
They didn't crush them. Like
no, they did not. But the whole the fact that like Montana Germany's started solely on like some corporate bullshit that I'm personally I refuse to use Montana.
Right.
That's just me though. I mean, I don't know. I want to support the writer.
I mean,
right?
man, you know,
I mean, I'll use it if someone gives it to me.
Right. See, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny because I mean, I'm fucking anti-corporate as anyone you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Like all day.
Right.
You know, but I can't. I have a lot of homies. A lot of people in my crew are sponsored by German Montana. I'm like super tight with the dude who distributes it.
Hey, I mean, I'm not knocking the hustle at all. You know, I think for the rest of us that are not as cool as you, that get to be sponsored.
Right. I mean, I'm not officially. I got there are people in my crew.
I'm just talking
but
shit
I get
to
it.
you.
I get it. I do get it. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to not appreciate the connections that I do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still paint with Quick Color.
Right.
So I'm used to. They just recently raised Quick Color from 99 cents to $1.28.
Oh man,
I know. It's
killing
like,
you.
Oh my god, I know. It's fucking terrible.
But now you're the manager, right? So you're good.
Yeah, exactly. I lied on
you
my resume.
You can afford that extra 30 cents.
I finessed the salary, and so now I'm not worried about 28 cents.
Right.
And what's funny is I still rack paint. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can, I can. If I can't, I can't.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I can't. I had to stop with kids and my.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I still, although I can't rack paint anymore.
Yeah.
And I get connected, so it's.
I mean, with your mural work, you probably get tons of like.
Right. Exactly.
You get
like
a budget
I said,
for materials and shit like that. That's dope.
I haven't bought like paint just to piece, and like I can't even remember because I just
must be nice.
Yeah, because I just get it for work, you know. Yeah.
I'm just being here super jealous and salty. I wish I could say that. No, that's what's up, man. I mean, that, you know, at the end of the day, paint is paint, right? And it's really what you do with it is more important than anything else.
Totally, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
all day, you know.
What so from the way we got into Bangkok is that we were talking about you painting across the world.
Yeah. So after Bangkok, I went to let's see, this was 2001. We went Bangkok to, I think the next place I painted was Australia. So
sick. I
so
want to hit Australia.
In Thailand. So Jace in Thailand was like, I told him, I was like, we're going to Australia next. We're going to be in Brisbane. Which is kind of like northeast Australia, and he was like, oh, this other dude Jason lives out there, like this other Casino. He's like a legendary Australian writer, Casino, came to New York and painted Clean Trains in New York, and he's like a legendary, like super legendary Australian writer. He was like, oh yeah, that's my homie, like you should meet him. He lives in Brisbane. And weirdly enough, like my wife and I did a meditation retreat in Thailand, and we met another guy from Brisbane. So we were going to Brisbane next, right? And it was like, and dude was like, oh yeah, I'll be back in Brisbane like a week after you guys get there, or a few days after you get there, or something.
Oh shit!
So we went to Brisbane, and then we spent like a month there, and I had like built-in friends, like the one friend from the from the meditation retreat, and then Jace put me in touch with Casino, who owned a shop there, like a graffiti shop.
Yeah.
And he was like super busy at the time, and he was like, well, I can't really paint right now. I'm like,
but you got other homies, right? So you got like the
I got like
local homie to take you out,
to kick it with my wife and stuff. But then Casino put me in touch with this dude, Mark, who wrote. He writes something different now, but he doesn't really write anymore. But he wrote Dilemma at the time.
Dilemma.
Yeah, DLEMA, and then he was definitely like a Brisbane like local who was like well known. He's super dope, really cool dude. This dude Mark, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll take you to some spots and we could kick it, you know. So we kicked it. We painted like a bunch of times. Various spots around Brisbane, you know, trackside spots and just different spots. And then I actually proposed to my wife with a graffiti piece in
that's right,
Brisbane.
Okay, so I didn't know that it was there. Yeah, that was with the frog and everything, right?
It was with
lizard.
with lizards.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It said, "Will you marry me with these lizards?"
Damn, so a whole year of traveling. Right?
Yeah,
right?
so this was like 10 months in, right? And I was like, okay.
I mean, you spend that much time with her.
Yeah. It was like
you're not killing each other.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah, we're still together now. So,
that's
20 years later.
That's fucking awesome.
It's about to be our 20-year anniversary in September. So
I went to Tokyo in 2018 with an ex-girlfriend. I was with her for 5 years, and I broke up with her a week after we came back.
Oh wow. Yeah, hey man, like
traveling's no joke with a couple.
No joke as a couple for sure, you know. And so it was good, and I proposed in Australia, and then basically after that we went to New Zealand. I didn't get a chance to paint in New Zealand. I wish I did. I saw some cool graffiti there, but I didn't get a chance to paint
in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yeah.
I really want to go to Auckland.
We were just in Auckland just for like super briefly. I think if we had been in Auckland longer, we were mostly on the South Island the whole time, and in Christchurch, and there was some cool graffiti, but I couldn't like find anybody. I couldn't find any paint. Couldn't, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I was with my girl. You know, I've been traveling a long time, but I did. I mean, I did paint in Australia a few times, and then then came back to the States. And
so that was the end. So after the 11 months of traveling, you went Africa, Asia.
Yeah, we were. Well, yeah, like Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Asia, Australia, New Zealand. We stopped in the Cook Islands for like a few days.
Cook Islands, where's that?
That's kind of northeast of New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
It's like middle of the Pacific.
Now as we're talking about it, I realize I don't know shit about that area. I mean, obviously I know Australia and New Zealand's two entirely different things.
So it's like I mean, Cook Island, it's the Pacific is massive, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and Cook Islands, I think, are like a colony or what do they call it now? They don't call them colonies anymore. Yeah. Even though basically still is. But it's a territory, I think, of New Zealand, I believe. And it's tiny little few islands.
Yeah.
It's like way smaller than Hawaii or like even I think Tahiti's probably bigger too. I don't know. But it's it's a little island,
that's sick
thing that
island life.
Islands
are fun, man.
I mean, it was cool. I got tattooed there because I was like, I'm in Polynesia. I should get tattooed like by a Polynesian.
Did you get like a stick and poke? Like
I didn't. No, I tried to find somebody to do it, but there was nobody. It was like just this small, and it was like a little shitty hut on the beach, like. And it's awesome. Like by far my worst tattoo. Do
you still have it?
Yeah, yeah. And it like fell out like like I have a gang of tattoos from almost all of them are from people in my graffiti crews that are
that's awesome.
That are tattoo artists.
Yeah.
Like two guys actually. Like all my tattoos are from two different artists, but except for this one, which is like the shittiest one, and it's like falling out, and
you just got to get it covered up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it. I mean, it's like it's a little globe because it was like the last day. It was actually the last day of our trip around the world, so I just got a little globe. Like,
that's tight, man. That's a cool memory.
Stomach, and then I was just like, okay. Yeah, it's a cool memory. It's not.
So
it's not visible, like if I'm not naked. So
right. Well, I definitely don't want to see it.
So just so you don't have the camera set up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're gonna start a fucking all in the bag OnlyFans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'll kick it off.
That's awesome. All right, word. And so then that was what, like 2001 at that point?
That was 2001. Yep. And then and then I moved to New York. And now I live
sick.
We got married in Chicago, spent like the summer in Chicago, got married, then moved to New York, and then I lived in New York for like 5 years. Like definitely painted. My cycle was like my cycle TC5 I am okay.
Yeah.
BA, all that was like my main homie in New York that we painted.
What made you go to New York?
And skated. I had lived in New York for a summer.
You did the ad thing, right?
Yeah, the ad thing, and I had always wanted to go back and live there.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't working at Thrasher anymore. Right? Why not? I had some connections in like the music industry, so I wanted to do graphic design and my homie, another Jason, a lot of Jason homies.
All right, word.
Shout out to Intel too, Jason. He was working at Def Jam at the time, and he was I can connect you like at Def Jam, and we could do some stuff. And then it didn't totally work out, but I did some stuff with this heavy metal label, Roadrunner Records.
Yeah, I definitely know Roadrunner.
Yeah,
for sure.
I did like a compilation album for them with like all kinds of shit that I don't really listen to, but it was super
funny.
cool.
I grew up listening to like metal and shit like that. So like some of my favorite bands started on Roadrunner before they ended up getting bigger and stuff. So I definitely know Roadrunner.
My claim to fame with Roadrunner is they had signed a new band. They had just signed this band called 3 Inches of Blood. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're like fantasy metal kind of like shit. Like they sang about orcs and fucking
orcs.
Yeah, and like pirates and shit like that.
You know what? I fucking hate shit like that.
Yeah, I did the album cover and I designed their logo.
Yeah.
And I tried to listen to it, to get into the
to like
I could not
feel the essence.
Dude, I could not even get through the whole record because I don't listen to metal at all. Right. Like I just don't. Like, so nothing.
3 Inches of Blood. I'm gonna have to
3
look them
Inches of
up.
Blood. So I created their logo, and I've seen a photo of somebody who has it tattooed, which blows my mind. Like that
that you designed
the
for
logo
the band.
that I designed for the band.
Oh, that's
I don't. They
awesome.
I don't know if they're still even around or if they still use it or whatever. But but it was like, and they had this they had this legendary like illustrator do the artwork. So I didn't do that much of the design work. It was mostly like just put the painting here, and then we need a logo. So I created the logo.
I'm looking this up as
look up
3-6 Mafia pulled up first.
Right, yeah.
3
I can
inches.
respect that.
Oh yeah, 3 Inches of Blood with an actual 3 if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see discography.
It was that record.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you drew this whole thing?
No. They had hired some like legendary like fantasy illustrator to do it, but I did this logo for it, and I and all the other layout.
Yeah.
Like the inside.
That's hilarious.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there was like, and then I did a compilation for them that had like Slipknot and all kinds of people
that's
like
tight.
that on it.
I still listen to Slipknot.
You still
Slipknot's fucking king as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Yeah. It had a bunch of those. They were on there. That's the only one I remember. Slipknot was on there, but then I did just promotional shit for them.
Right.
And then I was just freelance, and then I kind of felt Cycle was also doing graphic design at the time, and he kind of got me in with doing like t-shirt graphics for various companies.
Oh, sick.
So that was what I was mostly doing in New York, and and then we were
painting on the side.
Yeah, and painting on the side, and then doing graphic design shit, and then 2007 my girl got a job here, and so we moved back
to San Francisco.
Damn,
that's fucking tight, man.
No, it was still
You're like goals for everything.
What's that?
Your goals. Because I've been doing graphic design for I don't know 10 years and shit. Yeah. But like you ever hear like I worked at a popular ad agency. I worked at Thrasher. Right. Something soft over here.
Right.
Worked at Roadrunner Records.
Right.
I'm just doing it. Yeah. Traveled fucking the world for 11 months.
Yeah, I did. I mean, man, I definitely have had I'm blessed in a lot of ways, man.
You come off as an extrely humble guy. I'm not. I'm just giving you shit because I'm just jealous.
Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely have, tried to, like sort of like stay in my interest lane, right? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, I did the t-shirt graphics were like for like Mecca and Timberland and like companies that were like, shit that I liked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I loved 3 Inches of Blood was not necessarily.
That was kind of, that was like the little, and it was kind of like the Def Jam thing, and I had a connection with Sony, like they kind of fell apart. That's like, it's kind of a funny, shitty like story with, it's totally not graffiti related, but it was like, I did at Thrasher, one of the last things I did at Thrasher was I did an interview with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, sick.
And the label, he had just left
How high did you get during that interview?
Well, I don't smoke.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Fair. It was kind of crazy because all right, I'm gonna tell this story not super long, but real quick. So they flew me in and a photographer out to do this interview, and we were gonna, and his manager, one of his managers, he had a bunch of managers. One of his managers was like, "But Snoop's, if we're gonna do this for Thrasher, like we got to give him the cover." And I'm like, "Word, yeah, I'm down." You know, I'm the art director. I talked to Jake, the editor, and Jake is like, "Well, I don't promise covers." And I'm like, "Jake, like the only way we're gonna do this shit is gonna be legendary.
It's fucking Snoop Dogg.
It's Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah.
And like who else has had Thrasher covers, like music covers? Like we had always talked about doing a music cover too, like me and Jake had." And I was like, "This shit," because we almost did an Eminem cover right before he blew up, and then he blew up too big, and he didn't want to do it anymore. Because I knew about him already, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is about to blow." And I talked to his manager, Eminem's.
Yeah.
Like right before Slim Shady came, the Hello My Name Is came out, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like this is my new artist. Like I'm trying to blow him up." Right? He had just got on Aftermath or whatever it was, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like I think it would be dope. Like he's definitely gonna appeal to skaters. He's like white rapper and he's dope. Like come on." And then we started setting it up, and then all of a sudden she never called me back, and the song was fucking everywhere, and she was just like, "I don't have time for Thrasher. I want to be on Rolling Stone." You know what I mean? Like it was just like. That's so anyway, awesome. So when that shit didn't, I was like, "Jake, we got to do a music cover before I leave. Let's do this Snoop one." And he was like, "Well, I can't make any promises," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna tell him that we're gonna do it." And he was like, "Okay." I'm like, because it's gonna be dope. Like I'm gonna take, like we're gonna. Like I'm gonna bring a board for him, and
he's gonna hold it
and pose, and it's gonna be epic, man. It's gonna be the best selling mag of the year, like for sure.
Yeah.
And so we did it. They flew me in, and this dude Gabe Morford, who's a legendary skateboarding photographer, to New York, and then Snoop, like we were gonna do the photo shoot at Supreme in Soho. This was like when that was the only Supreme before it was like before it is what it is now. It was a skate shop. I mean, it's still a skate shop, but before it got bought out and all that stuff. But so we were gonna do the photo shoot at Supreme, like in front of a wall of boards, and we had it all planned out. Snoop was supposed to come there. The first day he calls and he's like, "Well, Snoop's getting his hair done for a Puff Daddy party or some shit." So, and he's running late, and then we can't get the tour bus down there like through traffic with his like 50-person entourage or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And so we're like, "Okay, but we'll do it tomorrow," So then we spent like basically 2 whole days just kicking it at Supreme, like
just waiting. Yeah.
And then the shit never happened, and they had to extend our ticket again.
Oh fuck.
And it was me and my girl's like anniversary of like. It was our first wedding anniversary. Oh, no, it was before. It was our first anniversary of getting together. It was before we were married. Oh, okay. So it was before we were married. So then it was, so I had to like stay an extra day, and I was going to fly back like on the day, you know? And then I had to stay an extra 2 days or something. And that becomes part of the story. So then finally they're like, "Look, okay, we can't keep like doing this." He keeps like pushing it back.
Right.
Go to this studio in Times Square. He's doing like an international press junket with like 12 different magazines from around the world.
Oh, okay.
And then you guys can do
just wiggle your way in.
Like sit in on that, and then I'm gonna give you an extra half hour, like afterwards.
Yeah.
And time to do a photo shoot. And I'm like, "Okay, cool, let's do that." So we're at this. So we do that, and he like. Snoop is like probably the most charismatic person I've ever met. Like
really,
hands down. Like,
that's cool.
So he just makes everyone in the room feel like his friend, and just like you just want to be around him. Like celebrities.
Yeah.
Some people are celebrities for a reason. Like he just, you know what I mean? Like he is just like you just want to be around him. Like he's just a fucking like really.
You thought about smoking with him?
Well, I mean, no, he like
shit.
passing. He's like passing a blunt like around the room of like interviewers, but he's hitting it the most and the hardest. You know what I mean? Like all day.
This is pre-COVID.
Yeah. Heavy. Like I mean, he's legendary. How much Snoop Dogg smokes?
Exactly.
You know. But anyway, so we did that, and then we did the And then after, so I'm like sitting on that, and then we have like our separate time, you know, to do the cover shoot. And Gabe knocks it out, like gets the photo, like,
yeah,
and it's all good. I gave Snoop a board for his son because I had heard that his son skated. He was like super appreciative and like cool about that too, which was real dope. And then he is like, I had got a card of like a puppy dog, like a you know, greeting card.
Okay.
And I was like, Snoop, you gotta give me some game, man. Like, you fucked up my first anniversary with this girl, and I'm like really in love with her, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, you gotta at least sign it to her for me.
That's awesome.
So I got him to sign like a anniversary.
Do you still
card.
have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was like, so that made it a little easier for my
You're like,
girl.
babe, I'm sorry I'm late, but I got Snoop Dogg's fucking signature for you.
Right, exactly.
That's killer.
Yeah, so that was super tight. But then that was like one of the very last things I did for Thrasher. And then I lined it up. It was going to be the April cover, and I left with the March issue. Okay. That was like the last issue I worked on, I believe, was the March issue, 2001. And then I left town, and I went to Chicago, got all my shit, and we went to Europe. Or no, we went to New York first, and I saw the April issue on the stands, and it was not Snoop on the cover.
Ooh.
And I called Jake, and I was like, yo,
what the fuck?
What the fuck, bro? Like, I promised this to them, you know? Like, I told them that this was going to happen. They fucking flew us out, like, paid a lot of money, put us up at the W, like...
Yeah.
You know, like they put out a lot of money on this, like counting on the cover, like that was part of their budget, you know?
Yeah.
And Jake was like, well, I was watching MTV and Snoop Dogg was on there talking about, because Snoop right before was on Master P's record label, which is called No Limit, right?
Yeah,
and he had just got out of his contract. Then No Limit had got him out of the contract with Suge Knight, or it's all
Death Row Records,
yeah,
right?
Death Row, right?
Yeah.
So this is all like obscure hip hop history, but but like basically Snoop had got out of that contract with Master P, and then he had finished his contract with Master P, and then he was free agent basically.
Sure.
And he was on MTV, and he was like, yo, from now on, like if you see Snoop Dogg like you know anywhere, it's because that's what I want to do. Like nobody's telling me what to do. And Jake is like, fuck that. Like nobody tells Jake Phelps what to do. Like Snoop Dogg like I don't want people to think that like Snoop like played me. I'm like, dude, nobody who would even make that fucking connection? Are you crazy? Like,
if anything, you would think like Snoop Dogg is like, okay, I want to be in a skateboard magazine, right? Because
exactly,
like,
it's like, Jake, you're getting nothing but props for this, and like it's gonna be the best selling. Are you crazy? And Jake was a little crazy, so
yeah.
He was like, I didn't put it on the April issue. I might put it on the May issue. And I was like, all right, man, fucking please, you know?
Yeah.
Because the dude at like Snoop's road manager was also like, yo, when you come back from your trip, like hit me up. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, and I'm like, you know, you're fucking me up here too, Jake.
Right.
And me and Jake are friends, you know, or we were, I mean, rest in peace, you know?
Right.
And he's just like, so then I go to Europe. I see the May issue in like Amsterdam, and it's still not on there. And he was like, well, I decided, you know, I got this better photo. And I was like, dude, it's like not even that dope of a cover photo. Like either, you know what I mean? It's like, I know you were scrambling for some shit and you're just fucking
but you have this sitting on
being
deck.
a dick. And then he just ran the interview on the inside.
Oh, so he still ran the interview.
He ran the interview, used the cover photo, like for the, like, you know, small. I was so salty, man. And it fucked me up when I went to New York, because then I, like, whatever I was going to do with Sony obviously didn't happen. Dudes weren't, he wasn't returning my calls. Like,
because of that?
Yeah, because of that, my contact there. Like, I had been in contact with this dude for a minute, because I used to.
So they never ran it?
They ran the interview.
But they never ran the cover.
They never ran the cover.
Oh, that would have been legendary.
Yeah, it would have been for real legendary.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so that was my whole fucking Snoop Dogg adventure.
Damn, that's
cool. I still got a flick of me and Snoop Dogg together.
That's tight.
And I got the card, so you know.
That's what's up. Man.
And actually, it did really make me like, you know, because I'm like more like underground dude, you know, like I'm like, oh, this, you know, sellouts and fucking, you know, like that kind of shit. But Snoop is real, like, I don't know. I give him all kind of props, no matter how much success.
Now that you've
he gets.
experienced him firsthand.
Yeah, and he was really fucking cool, and I think he's like a legit dude. Like,
yeah,
you know, he's just a genuine. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, anyway.
That's what's up, man. Fucking, that's one way to leave fucking Thrasher.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was it was crazy.
Word. So when you so we're back in San Francisco, what, 2007?
Yep, 2007. Yeah.
And then at this point, you're just doing full on freelance.
Yep, just full. Yep, and raising my kid. Like,
I
have a 2-year-old. I'm like full-time dad, and doing graphic design at night after she goes to sleep.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah. So in between that, any like there was a bunch of questions that I actually lost that I was going to ask you from the previous time.
Okay.
But I did want to actually touch base on freight stories. If you had any that, you know, once you're back and shit, kids a little older, are you rocking like freights and shit and really knocking them out?
Yeah. Well, in New York, I painted freights a little bit with Cycle and Smith.
Smith, damn, that's tight.
Yeah, because Smith and Cycle, Smith was Pink and Smith were. They don't. I'm not blowing anybody's spot anymore because they don't live there together. But Pink and Smith were Cycle's landlord at the time.
Fire.
and actually, there was like a pro skater from the '80s who lived upstairs. So it was the fucking craziest house in Queens, with a former pro skater upstairs, Lady Pink and Smith in the main house, and Cycle in the basement.
Jesus Christ.
The fucking crazy ass house in Queens.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, and I used to be over there all the time. And shout out to Pink and Smith. They're fucking, I love them. They're great. People. And
I mean, legends.
Yeah, and legends. And just great, just solid people, you know.
Yeah.
And so we used to kick it over there. And so Smith and Cycle, there was a yard in Queens that they were hitting pretty like regularly, so I went with them a couple times to do that. Actually, first time I ever seen anybody do a roller piece on a freight was Smith, and he did a full, like, a end to end, base, almost whole car, but like end to end, like deep ridged gondola,
really,
with roll paint, and it said Supersonic Sane. Sane is his brother who passed away.
Oh, okay.
And he writes the Smith saying he writes both of them. But
but
yeah, he did. That was the first time, and I blew my mind. I was like, what is he doing over there? And Cycle was like, roller. He's like, he like rolled out this like supersonic. And then me and Cycle painted a few freights in there, and the only one that I ever see pop up is this one. I remember Cycle one day, he was like, yo, I want to do a freight. There was a platform, like a flat car next to another car, so you could get up really like all the way up to the top. And he was like, yo, I've always wanted to do like just scribble all over a train like a paper in your notebook, you know, with just like weird shit.
Interesting.
You know? He was like, let's do that tonight because it's like the perfect setup. And I was like, all right, cool. So we just like tags and throw ups and weird little character. That's like the only train that I ever see pop up from that little time.
Right. You know? I get what you're saying now.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Nothing else I like. Yeah, but we ended up having to stop going to that yard because that was kind of it got hot, and that was the beginning of Cycle's troubles with the law.
Word.
Anyway, but yeah, that was like really the only freights in New York. Mm-hmm. But then when I came back here, I wasn't painting freights that much out here initially, but I used to go to Atlanta a lot.
I was gonna say, I was actually gonna ask you because I mean, last time you were here, I had you sign my my TCI poster.
Yeah.
Because Maple hit it.
Right.
And so just. I'm going to slowly try to get everyone that's on there. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that might be. I mean, I could put you in touch with Hybrid for sure.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I've always been a big fan of Hybrid's work.
And Avail is in TCI too. He's not on any of the posters, but he's like a original, like not original, but really early on. Dude.
Yeah. It would be cool to get everyone to sign that poster. But with that, can you at least elaborate on? Do you remember what year that was? I just put it away in the closet, super safe, so it's like way in the fucking cut.
No,
I think it's like 2017 or some shit like that. And you guys were doing all end to ends. I think you have like 4 of them on there.
Yeah, I have a bunch on that one. So that was like, that was. Well, I guess when I came back and I was going to Atlanta and I was painting a lot with Maple and Isto. And he would be there sometimes, but it was mostly Isto and Maple, and then River and Stock.
Sick.
Would sometimes be around, and anyway, I was painting with those dudes. Like I went down a bunch of times to Atlanta to paint freights, and one time I went down and we painted something for a movie set, and
shit,
because there's all this like movie stuff down there.
Yeah,
we painted like pieces for the background of a movie, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
set production's pretty it goes hand in hand and shit. I know a lot of graffiti writers in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
that do a lot of like props and sets and shit like that. And dude, there's good money in that shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good job for a lot of writers for sure.
That's what's up.
But yeah, we did. So anyway, I was painting with them, and Isto was in AKB already,
Okay.
And so we would always do freights together, and then one time we're painting, and he's just like, "Dude, you need to. Why don't you push TCI? Like you should put TCI." So
okay.
Isto was the one who was like
initiated it.
He was like, "Yeah, I don't know why you don't push it," And I was like, "All right, yeah. I mean, I guess I've just always like just been one crew, But I was like, but it's true. Like nobody else in AKB who's not in TCI is like really painting anymore at all.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like on the like private Flickr, like TCI Flickr already. Like that's like the main people I interact with around graffiti was TCI, And I was cool with all of them, And so
it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, it just made sense. And and Isto was like so adamant about it too. He was just like, dude, you gotta push it, man. Like, shout out to Isto, man. He was just like, you gotta push it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start pushing it. And then, and then it was just, it just was, it was just good from there. Just because already that's, a lot of most of my favorite writers, like a lot of them like are in the crew, and I just like I was already kicking it with them, already painting with them. That was my people.
Fuck yeah, that's what's up, man. So for this poster, and once again I got to get a fucking vlog going so I can post all these pictures of what we're talking about. But how did you guys come up with like the
poster thing?
like the themes or something like that, so like
so the end-to-end thing had already been going for a minute. It was like I think it really started with honestly you'd have to ask like Hybrid or Heat or who were like the more historian like types,
maybe in the future,
and the founding members of the crew, Hybrid, Heat, and Intel are like the founding members, and or Hybrid and Intel really, and then Heat very soon after. But I think it was I want to say it was like Heat and A2 did like this like Snoopy or a Peanuts themed Thanksgiving or winter or like Christmas train, like a long ass time ago.
Oh yeah, that was
I want to say that was the one that really kicked off this end to end.
Did you ever watch Reefer Madness? You had to have seen Reefer Madness. It was like 2004 I think is when it was filmed, but it came out in 2006 with Fatso,
and it's in there.
WH I think is the cruise he's in, but there was an interview with Myth.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's when they were like
because
Heat
used to live up there with the
and so I think it was supposed to be Myth, and it ended up being Heat, and I forget who else it was, but they literally talk about that exact end to end.
Okay, yeah.
It's such a fucking sick ass end to end.
Yeah. No, it's dope, and they've done a couple Peanuts themed ones
since then.
Yeah. But I think that was the one, and then it was like Heat is he's an interesting cat, and he gets things in his head, and he just like they stay in his head.
Yeah,
you know
cool.
what I mean? So
that's
the end to end thing, like really, like Heat is really the driver of that end to end thing, and then it became like the project, and then it was like topping the last one, like every time, like what is the next, Like, how can we just do it like another end-to-end theme and like top it? And I mean, it's still going. Like right now, like me and Care are like, yo, we gotta top that. My all-time favorite TCI end-to-end is a Heat Isto, and it's a bowling theme.
Bowling
like
thing.
with like a Warner Brothers cartoons like bowling thing. It's called Nine Pin Alley is the name of it. It's a Armin.
Okay.
It's so dope. It's just like super clean. It's like font style pieces with the bowling. I can find a picture and send it to you. It's on one of the posters.
Yeah.
It's just so clean. And I think,
any end-to-end, when you have a theme and a concept and you put it all together, it just stands out so much more, right? Than in standard pieces.
Totally.
That's fucking dope, dude. That's
I'm like, I gotta top the fucking 9-pin alley. Like that's the one I gotta top.
That's like the holy grail that you're chasing.
For me, in terms of the end-to-ends, that's just my all-time favorite. I'm like, that shit is so dope. And there's so many dope ones, but that one, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just stands out to me as like.
I mean, that's the thing about freight trains, right? It's like you want legible pieces, and there's just nothing more legible than like a font and seeing it going like fucking 50 miles down the rails, and you're like, yep, I can read that clear as day.
Yeah. I love burners though too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no denying that, like, if you push yourself stylistically with connections and shit like that, and like all the concepts, and actually I was, going back earlier to when we were talking about your yellow piece in the city with the Veil and Jerk. Yeah. Dude, I gotta say, man, your E's lately have just been so fucking crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, that one especially is actually real
the
crazy.
Lowercase and the uppercase together. And I've seen you do this a few times, and every time I'm just like, I don't catch it at first. Like my mind sees one first, and then later I'm like, holy shit, he's got both. Yeah. You did one too where
there's 2 R's on that piece too.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's funny. I was literally just going to say, I was like, I saw in a piece not that long ago where you did the uppercase R, but then the hang off from the R made it into the lowercase. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. I actually remember I did a piece in Oakland a number of years ago with my dude Dewar. Shout out to Dewar. It was one of his walls. And
DOER or
no,
DUE?
DUE. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
He's like SKA.
Yeah, I was gonna say okay, DCV, right?
Yeah, DCV.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he that's the homie.
Yeah.
He had a wall, and we did it, and I did purposeful upper and lower case, but it was really subtle on the E.
Okay.
And I had an arrow coming off that somebody later was like, oh, I like how you did the extra E in the arrow, and I was like, damn, I didn't even peep it until you said it.
Shit.
And then I was like, I gotta try to fucking do that. And I mean, lots of people do shit like that, like for sure, like multiple letters. I feel like it's not, I lay no claim to that at all, but it is really fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely people do it, but man, I mean, with yours, they're like so subtle that I'm just like, you have to look at it like it's like those things when you see those videos, the more you see it, the worser it gets. Right. Well, not like saying that your pieces are worse, but I'm saying like, when like a tragic fucking fail video happens, it's just hella chaotic. Because I feel like the nicer way with your pieces, like I'll look at shit and then I'll be like, oh, there's that, oh shit, there's that, oh shit, and then I'm picking up this, like, damn, where the fuck, how do you even think of this shit,
Well, I mean, I love letters, man. That's why I was into graphic design too. It's funny because I'm not really interested in graphic design anymore. I'm like full-time murals, I'm like, I kind of burned out on that. But graffiti shit just keeps my attention, man. Just like flipping those letters. I've been flipping those same 4 letters for 30 years, and I still finding new shit. Like,
where you at on the 30 counter?
In terms of pieces, I think I'm only at like 8 or something.
8 for the year?
Yeah, for the year. I was like, I feel like I need to get.
You need to escape for like a weekend and rock out like 5.
I need to go back to Atlanta. I used to have my little spraycations in Atlanta, like that I was talking about earlier, and knock out like a bunch of shit in a short time. I gotta try to figure that out. Everything's so expensive right now in COVID and all that shit. But I don't know.
It's funny. Yeah. So for example, the reason why we went to Italy to begin with was my girlfriend's family was like, come hang out with us in New Jersey. And we were like, all right, cool. I'd never been to the East Coast. And I was like, all right, let's do that. And we looked it up. It was like $600 just to go to the East Coast. And I was like, $600, we can go to fucking international. And then we ended up, paying $600 to go to Italy. I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to go to Jersey. I'm going to go to Europe.
I'll take Italy over Jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
No shots to Jersey, but
it's so much cheaper to travel internationally than it is locally. It's just like not worth it.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably about to drive out to the East Coast actually.
Really?
Yeah. My family, we usually go out to the East Coast every summer because my wife's family is out there.
Okay.
And we usually go out there, but
have you done that road trip?
I've done it like 5 times.
I've done it a few days, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like easily a week. I mean, it's like 5 days minimum.
R.I.P. You're back.
Yeah. I mean, usually the way I used to do it is I would go both ways with oh shit.
Sorry. No, you're good.
I would go both ways with the dog and one way with the family, and then my wife and kids would fly the
and then you get the shit into the stick and have to drive the car back.
I actually don't mind it too much. I'd throw on like audiobooks and like podcasts and and
I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's good and a little solitude or whatever. But but this year I think we're gonna do both ways with the whole family and 2 dogs. Yeah, we'll see. But it's cool. I mean, I'm gonna try to paint. For sure.
You got some pressure on you, right?
I know I gotta get it. Yeah,
30 pieces for 30 years.
Yeah. Well, I was just texting with Stock yesterday in Minnesota, like, yo, if I come through Minnesota, like, we gotta paint, like, for sure. And then I got a homie in Providence, Rhode Island, that I usually always paint with every summer.
That's dope.
And then I'm gonna try to, if I go to New York, definitely try to hook up with some of the people out there.
I got some Cuddy tunnels for you, man. I'd love to be part of that counter.
Yeah. No, I'm down, man. I definitely need more spots to fill.
Yeah. That's been. Are you into tunnels and shit like that? I mean, it's funny because I've met people that are like, I don't care.
No, dude, I love tunnels. One of my all-time favorite spot, I don't know if I talked about it last time, was the Muni tunnel, the DuBose tunnel.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
man, I used to love that spot, man.
Yeah,
I'd spend all night in there. That place is dope. And
and
even coming up, like the first one of the first productions I ever remember seeing as like a 10, 12-year-old or something was in a tunnel in Chicago, like under a highway, like I remember.
Yeah, tunnels is something romantic about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely dead silence. I'm actually lucky that I, at first what started my love with tunnels is getting like hosted at a few spots. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm not going to say for people, you guys can go, lurk and find them yourselves, but I've been lucky to find a few up north, and it's just like for example, right now, I feel like it's like tunnel season, man. It's super fucking hot. So being in a nice cool tunnel with like running water on your feet, and I'm just like, oh, it's such relaxing fucking times.
Yeah, no, I'm super down, man. I love
Say less.
I love the tunnels.
We'll for sure plan it out, and I'll bring it up again. If I fucking get a vlog going, or not a vlog, but a blog, old school. Right. I'm not gonna fucking do selfie videos of myself. Right. But if I get a blog going, I'll update pictures and shit for people to see. That'd be really dope.
Follow on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. That's definitely. I was actually gonna post that yellow piece soon. Okay. Just because I just took flicks of it like literally 2 days ago. There's a little fucking bando randomly next to it, and I was just like, oh shit. So I like crawled through like the ground in a hole and shit like that, and people were yelling at me, what are you doing? I was like, I just want to take pictures, and they're like, what the fuck, you're a weirdo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was empty.
The bando. Oh wait, not the one that
the bando.
Not the black wall you painted.
Right. No, I know not that building, but I think I know which building.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Word.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I guess you can cut it out, but
it's all good. Fuck it. I mean, if they figure it out, they figure it out. That's what it is. It's so out in the open. It's not even like a spot. Where I'm like hiding. Fucking. It's not like that. I mean, right. But man, tunnels are the shit.
Yeah, no, tunnels are dope, and shit runs in them for a long time.
You ever had anything creepy happen in a tunnel?
I'm trying to think. Not too much. Not really. One time, actually, one time in Paris, I was painting.
Did you go to the catacombs and shit?
It wasn't the catacombs, but there's like an abandoned train that used to run around the outside of Paris,
sick.
And I don't think the tracks are alive anymore, but I think they're actually developing it into like a park now.
Okay.
But this is like 20 years ago. I was walking those tracks. I did a piece, and then I was walking those tracks to go back to this when my brother was living in Paris, and I was walking, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just go and catch the subway at a different spot. And I was walking the tracks, and I walked into this tunnel that I thought was like gonna be maybe like 5 blocks or something, like not that long.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be like 2 miles long, or like just super.
Oh, you like kept walking and like.
I just kept walking and walking, and at some point, I was walking, and then I heard. I swear I heard a voice like in the very middle of the tunnel.
You have just a flashlight?
I didn't have anything. I didn't have any flashlight. It was pitch black, and I could just see it was daytime.
Oh, okay.
Right, but
you're just using like the light that was coming from the sun?
I was just looking at the light at the other end of the tunnel, and from this end of the tunnel, so it's completely pitch black in the middle, and I can hear like rats and shit,
Yeah.
But I swear I heard that was like the creepiest shit, and that freaked me out, and I kind of like started running a little bit.
Oh, for sure, bro. Yeah. There's nothing creepier than being in a fucking tunnel.
Yeah.
And like it being.
And it was probably some dude like sleeping in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like a bum.
And heard me and was like,
what the fuck? Who's here?
Yeah. Right. But that shit. And then actually another funny one was in New York in the 90s, by the on the west side of the highway. There used to be the Amtrak tunnel was the Freedom tunnels, because the Freedom, the writer from New York, he did all these amazing pieces in there.
Yeah.
And it was like his spot. But I was going up in there one time just to take flicks. I didn't even have paint or anything. And there used to be lots of homeless people that lived there. Like there was like movies about it, and the mole people. There's a book.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen literally what you're talking about. I've seen documentaries on people being at the Freedom Tunnel.
Yeah. So I was going in there, and there was a dude sitting on top of one of the pylons that was holding up the West Side Highway with a lazy boy chair like on top of the pylon.
Fuck.
And he's just like chilling there. And I start walking by, and I look up at him, and he's like, I can't. He said something like, "What do you want?" or something, like some crazy, scary, and he had bugged out like crackhead eyes, and I was just like,
"I'm not trying to deal with this today.
I'm cool, man." And I was pretty young too at the time. Yeah. Like it was like,
sketched out by like some crazy bum.
Yeah, I was just
sitting on high,
right? Yeah, just like staring down at me like some fucking crackhead king.
Dude, crackhead king. I fucking love it. Yeah, man. That's the only thing that's a little sketch about tunnels, right? Is that sometimes in that pitch black. That happened to me one time. I went painting with my homie Jammer. Shout out to Jammer. And we're just painting a tunnel, and then like probably like 45 minutes, hour in, I hear some shit, and I like spook, and I look over, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Who is that? Or what is that? We should go check that out. And he goes, oh, it's someone painting. They got here probably like 10 minutes after we did. And I was like, and you didn't say nothing? Right. And he's just like, I was like, what the and so like I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go say what's up, and I ended up meeting Keb ICP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was just randomly painting.
I met that dude. I like his stuff though.
I mean, ICP's for sure sick. But TM7, the other crew that he's in.
Oh yeah, TM7.
Fuck, TM7 is so sick.
Yeah.
That's good quality graffiti.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and R.I.P. Wyatt, TM7. That's my childhood homie.
Damn.
He was in TM7. He passed away a number of years ago.
Yeah, TM7 is quality graffiti for sure.
Yeah.
Fucking. Oh, and I also, that same tunnel, I went and hit it up like a couple years later or shit, and I was walking, and I stepped on a fucking dead rabbit.
Oh god.
And it was like already decomposed, and so my foot went right through its rib cage, and then as I tried to like get up, the ribs like latched onto the side of my shoes and like lifted with me, so I had like a dead bunny slipper.
Oh god.
And I was just like, get this fucking thing off me. And like literally like the 3 homies that were with me were just like all pointing their flashlights at my foot, and they're just laughing their ass off as I'm like trying to kick this fucking dead bunny off of my fucking feet.
That's hilarious.
Man, yeah.
Bunny slippers.
Yeah, legit. Okay, yeah, exactly. Fucking, I get PTSD anytime I see someone with funny slippers.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Any crazy freight stories? Are you getting spooked or had to like?
I one time I was gonna hop freights. And it was a yard that we used to paint in Minnesota, and well, yeah, I got a couple of like good ones from Minnesota, like early days.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, so we were gonna hop freight from the Twin Cities to Chicago. Me and another homie who didn't even write, but me and my boy Crisis AKB. We went to this yard with this hobo dude that he knew from doing construction work or something,
mm-hmm.
and to check out so that the hobo dude could tell us like which was like we didn't know shit about anything, you know.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like tell us which was going to be the lines that were, you know, was the main line going and how to figure
rather
out
than just hopping on something.
Yeah, then just you know, and he you know he knew what he was doing, and so he took us there, and there was auto racks. There was like a car factory nearby, and there was auto racks that would get loaded up with new cars.
Sure.
Like right by there, and then so when we went at night, and he was like showing us around this yard. Like we knew it just from painting, but he was telling us like from a hobo perspective.
Yeah,
kinda,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You weren't trying to blow it up. Be like, yeah, we're here all the time.
Yeah, yeah. But he was like, so he like took us to this other part of the yard that we didn't usually go in.
Oh,
you know, and we just got spotted by the bull, and like,
oh, that sucks.
They just wrapped us up, like the three of us, you know, and it was me, like just dressed in like jeans and a t-shirt, my homie Crisis, and like full Dickies, like chain wallet shit, you know, and like shaved head, like,
fire,
you know, this is like 90s, right? And then this hobo dude who was like probably like 6'5" and like 300 some pounds, like huge fucking guy, and like kind of scary, like just like hobo looking, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't really want to fuck with him.
Yeah, you didn't really. Yeah, exactly.
So the three of you have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, and we just look weird. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck are
walking
you guys
on the
doing
tracks
here? You know.
I wonder what the bull thought.
Yeah, right. He was so he thought that there was somebody who was breaking into the auto racks, breaking into the vehicles.
Oh shit!
Stealing radios.
Yeah.
Piling them up in the next car that was like didn't have stuff on it. And then like driving a pickup somewhere, and then like getting them,
meeting them, or
whatever.
They had like
right?
a whole fucking.
They had a whole. It was like a criminal syndicate, you know, stealing car radios or whatever, you know.
Okay.
And they thought we were somehow a part of that, and we're like, no, man, we're just like. I was like, yo, I'm in college and I'm doing a report on like hobos, you know, and like, and I found this guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, just like making shit up, you know? And they're like, get the fuck out of it. Like,
I got this hobo here.
Yeah, you're full of shit, you know? And the guys, you know, and the dude, the bull was like so stupid. Like the dude was just like, I mean, there was a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
And they put us in separate.
You had no paint, nothing like that on it.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't have anything.
It's literally just straight up
literally just
hopping.
like a exploratory, you know, like.
That's hilarious,
right? Like we weren't even painting. Maybe we did have painted, but we had stashed it.
Oh, okay.
And we were gonna go back. Maybe
gotcha,
you know what I mean? Like but we had nothing on us, like nothing incriminating.
Oh, okay.
At all. And they put, and we're pretty young too, you know, like 20 or 18 or something. And he like put us in.
How old was the hobo?
He was probably late 20s, early 30s or something.
Oh, you know? Okay, all right.
He seemed like really old at the time, but
right.
he probably wasn't that old.
Did he have the long hair and the huge beard?
No, he was. Dude, I can barely remember him.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I want to say he was like a bald, also or something. You know.
Awesome.
But yeah, like maybe he was older because he was like balding, you know. Anyway, they like put us in separate cars, and like he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And I remember vividly being like, "Whoa, I'm doing the, and he's like, before I even get like any word out, he's like, that's not what your friend said. And I was just like, wait, have you been watching movies? Like trying to figure out, like learning how to do bad cop, good cop. And like, you're not in the car with my friend. Like, how do you even know? You know, like what is wrong? Like what? I remember being like a young kid, like, dude, you're a moron.
You
like,
played him like a fiddle.
Yeah, I was
That's
just
awesome.
like, wow. And then they call. Well, they're like, well, you guys aren't saying anything. We're gonna call the real cops. Like of course they didn't say the real cops. They're like, we're gonna call the local cops or whatever.
Yeah.
So then those cops come and they put us in their car, and then they're like talking to those guys, and they're like, yeah, we'll take care of it. We got got these punks or whatever.
Yeah.
And they get back in the car, and then they're like, where's your car? And we're like, oh, it's like, like half a mile up the road over here. So they go out of the yard and they just start driving the other way on the highway, like opposite way of what we had told them where our car was, right?
You're going to walk today, bitch.
Yeah, he was like, you, like, those guys are morons, but like, you guys shouldn't be in there or whatever. And they drop us off on the side of the highway, like 2 miles up, and they're like, you need to walk to your car. And like, don't ever let us get you out of here again, blah, blah, blah. Whatever,
yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Like all day. And then we're walking back, and this dude, like we're walking along the side of the highway, and a car pulls up in like a little ass like sports car, like blasting music, and he's like, "You guys need a ride?" we're like,
what kind of car?
We're like, yeah, I want to say it was like a Camaro or some shit. It was like some fucking, or like a Firebird, like not even a Camaro, like you know what I mean? Like,
that's great. Like a 2-door?
Yeah, like a 2-door, like blasting Van Halen or some shit. You know what I mean? And we get in and like squeeze into the back, and then the hobo dude
was he with anyone?
No, he was by himself. Right?
So he just picks up
three fucking like a dude in like Dickies and a chain wallet, like a fucking huge hobo looking dude, and like a weird skater kid. Like skater kid. Like, it's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you thinking? Right? So then we get in the car, and he's like, where can I drop you? And we're like, we're just like a couple miles up, and he was like, what are you guys doing walking out here anyway? And then the hobo dude is
what a friendly guy.
Yeah, right? It was Minnesota. Yeah. The hobo dude is like, and we're all white, so,
Yeah.
Right? Fucking,
yeah.
It would have been a different story had some of the other homies been with us.
Right,
I'm sure. But, he's like, we're like, the hobo guy's like, oh, the cops just dropped us off. And then dude gets like super quiet. He's just like, oh shit, what did I do? Like, then he realizes.
Yeah.
But it was, then it was all good.
It'd have been funnier if because you're in Minnesota, right? Don't they play like polka there?
I mean, some people, yeah.
It'd have been funnier if he pulled up in a fucking hot rod and fucking playing polka.
Right, totally.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
fucking
Minnesota.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love that Minnesota accent.
Yeah,
that shit is hilarious to me. I don't know what it is. I just find
it's like there's all the like Norwegians up there.
Yeah. Shout out Minnesota. I've never been. I want to go.
I mean, there's an amazing scene in Minnesota for graffiti. It's so weird. Like,
that's cool.
I mean, the Twin Cities graffiti. There's so many dope writers that came out of there.
Really,
and it was such a. I mean, I haven't been there in over 20 years, but I haven't lived there, since the 90s, but it was super.
It's cracking.
I'm
sure
cracking.
It's evolved in its own way.
Yeah. Oh, for sure it has, sure. But there's a lot of just legendary writers, and it's no joke of a city, especially depending where you are. North Minneapolis is just as, if not more dangerous than any place in the Bay Area.
Damn. Okay. I might have to pop over there. I'm over here talking shit about Minnesota.
Yeah, no, don't fuck around like South St. Paul, North Minneapolis.
Really?
No joke.
Yeah, and as I say this, I'm actually remembering Legends Thursday. With Cooper. And he's always talking about the Twin Cities.
Right. Yeah, because he's I think he's like St. Louis or something. But yeah, he was. He definitely was around that parts. I mean,
I just caught one of his auto racks last month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just was in Oakland, and then I just seen. I was like, oh shit, a Cooper.
Oh nice.
And I go flick that.
Yeah, I never met him, but we know lots of people in common.
Yeah,
for sure.
Legends Thursday, great podcast.
Yeah.
If you guys want to listen to quality podcast. Listen to them. Don't listen to us.
Don't say that. Come on, man.
No, I mean,
get your self-promotion together.
I mean, we have a part 2 just because I didn't know how to fucking record the MP3 right on the last episode.
Early on, they've done a lot of those.
I'm just talking shit, trying to, we're humble here over at All in the Bag podcast.
Right, there you go.
That's what's up, man. Fucking
I'm trying to think of like other like more recent freight stories.
That's just crazy. That's like a random and then, like, I mean, obviously we're getting off the story, but it's just funny as fuck. Just the idea of just picking up 3 strangers on the side of the road.
Right?
I'll give you a ride.
Right? Like, what do you? I mean, I think you must have just been super stoned. Like,
had to be.
I mean, had to be, right? Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah.
Yeah, I think
I did end up hopping freight out of that yard and to Chicago. Actually, it was.
Oh, you ended up doing it successfully.
I did end up doing it successfully later. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a few months later. But
how was that?
Cold as fuck.
I was gonna say, man. Like, I see, you obviously people fucking romanticize the fuck out of it on Instagram and YouTube and shit, but then it's like,
no, it was cold. It was super cold. We fucked up and like
you're just on cold ass fucking steel.
We were on the and when we hopped it, like we fucked up and we got on the last car, which was like a flat car with a semi on it. So we're like sitting under a semi, basically exposed the whole time. We weren't even in like a, not in a box car, not in the fucking like back of a
gray bellies,
hopper or anything. We're like mad exposed.
So then the wind is hitting you the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting behind the tire, so but still.
But I mean, if you're in the back of a fucking hopper,
couldn't stand up like the shit. Yeah, that shit's kind of.
How long was that trip?
I don't remember, but it was long. It probably 8 hours, 6 hours.
Fuck!
It was long, man.
Did you bring food and like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, dude, 8 hours just sucking it up.
There was like the first hour was dope, or like going along
then
the
it
river,
sets in.
and then like the sun sets, and then it was like because we fucked around and waited in the yard the whole day, and then finally the shit started pulling out at the end, and we weren't really paying attention, and so we didn't get onto the car that we had planned to get on.
Yeah.
And we just barely caught up to it. Should have just left it and came back another day, but.
Damn.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's always funny seeing like the shit that you see online and then when you actually experience it, how shitty it actually is.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, there's definitely, that is not the way to do it, kids.
Much better way to do it.
Yeah, there's much better. Yeah, I mean, because I don't know if it's still like this, but like, other homies that hop freights longer and other missions, like,
sure,
like talk to the yard workers and like,
damn,
like I have a friend that
they're just like straight up like, yo, dude, I need to get to this location.
I'm gonna like I had a friend who like who like the yard worker like gave him a light and like and like was like, yeah, get on this box car, like, I'll keep the door, like I'll close it slightly but keep it slightly open so you can get out.
Damn.
like totally hooked him up, and he hopped all the way from Minnesota to Boston.
Wow, that's fucking tight. Yeah, and you just got to bring hella beer and food and jerky and shit. Yeah,
water.
Yeah. Did you ever see that rest in peace to Animal, who passed away obviously, but did you ever see that video he did with Mech where they were hopping freights? And I'll send you the link. It's a really good video. And obviously they edit it so it looks super epic, but then I just think to myself, what were you guys doing on the downtime?
Oh, dude, just
like
fucking
just sitting there.
I mean,
I'm sure the views are cool, but like, eventually you're like, okay, I just spent fucking 14 hours on raw steel with no cushion. Like,
I mean,
that's rough.
Get your meditation practice together first.
Yeah,
right?
Fuck, dude.
Something, I don't know, man.
I was in Yosemite last weekend. And I'd never been.
Isn't it flooded right now or something? Oh no, that's Yellowstone, right?
Oh, it might be Yellowstone. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Yellowstone.
I love the outdoors, but I can't tell you that much about it. Like, like it's cool camping and shit, but like if it is flooded, I would have had no idea. I don't keep up with that. But I went to Yosemite, and it's like I was so excited, and we went on this fucking huge hike. We ended up going doing 9 miles. It was like 3,000 feet elevation. And it was like, oh yeah, everyone was like, oh, your fucking stories on Instagram are so awesome. They look great. Oh my God. Da, da, da. And then the last 2 miles of that hike, I was just fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
And like my feet were raw. My ankle, I had the motorcycle accident.
Right.
And so like my ankle's still not 100%. And so
Yeah.
I was just like bitching and moaning the entire time. So it's kind of like the comparison of like, yeah, Yosemite's gorgeous, but the entire time I was like fucking crying. Like, my ankle.
Right. Yeah, it's not always like how it looks on the
No, definitely not
on the story.
yeah, for sure.
Not at all.
Yeah, good editing flicks, but sometimes like one time I was in a tunnel with some homies, and fucking I don't know what happened, dude, but all of a sudden I had to go, and I couldn't make it that far from them. And so it's like we were entertaining in the tunnel for like 3 hours, but the entire time I was like 15 feet away. There's just a massive fucking turd that I just dropped. And we're downwind, so we're smelling the whole thing.
Come on, you could have thought that out.
Bro, but it was not anything to think out. It was, it was like, okay, we put our paint down, we were like rolling it out, and all of a sudden I just go, oh, fuck, I gotta go. And I like ran and I couldn't make it. So, I mean, tunnels are cute and shit until you're sitting there next to a fucking pile of shit smelling it the entire time.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you had nowhere for the air to go.
No, that tunnel, it's pretty fucking sick, honestly, dude. I'd been there twice, I think. And first of all, you have to actually jump down into a sewer, like a real like manhole.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a fucking 80-foot ladder straight down. So it's like you're 80 feet underground.
Damn.
And then the actual tunnel itself goes for like I don't know, like 10 miles.
Oh shit.
One time I went there and we walked for like an hour and a half.
Damn.
Just to find like a virgin spot.
Wow.
Because it's like the homie wanted to hit virgin wall and didn't want to go over anyone. I was like, all right, let's keep walking. It's like an hour and a half later. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then we got to walk all the way back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
I mean, that's the thing. So many people painting in them now.
Yeah. Yeah, and the pieces are getting less and less quality.
Right. Yeah.
Not to talk shit on the newer generation.
Yeah. I mean, freight writers always talking about that now. Like
freights.
Back in the day, like you could go to yard and I went to last time I painted a freight recently. I feel like it was since we talked. I can't remember, but yeah, went to a yard. It wasn't really stacked, but there was like a couple lines and there was like 3 open panels. Like maybe 4. Like there was like everything is just,
crushed. Yeah.
And
the only thing I would say I agree with people that complain about freights only because a tunnel you can take your spot back.
Right.
But it's like you do a sick car and it gets gone over by some bullshit kid in the middle of nowhere. It's like the chances of that car coming back to you or you coming, I mean, there's so many different anomalies and equations for you to get to that fucking car. Yeah. That's when I'm like, that sucks, dude. Just let it run. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just know like, there's, people that just have it's dark or I don't know.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
What I mean? Like,
yeah, no, fucking, I forget who, someone that wasn't, no one that's popular or whatever, but they went over Cuts, rest in peace Cuts. He passed away in 2015, and you could see his Z poking out of the back, and I seen it on like one of those people that just constantly post freights. They're just like a photographer,
right?
And I tagged the kid and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you went over someone who's dead, and he's just like, oh, it was dark. And I was just like, dude, everyone fucking says that. I was like, bet. Well, when I see it, I'm definitely going over that shit.
Right. I mean, also, I've seen people going over.
Yeah,
people. I mean, it's one thing if like if it's somebody like there's a lot of like when there's people that go over people and they know that they know. That
like there's no way.
There's no way that you don't know. Like that shit is super fucked up. When it's just like some toy bullshit, I actually have a little bit more patience for it.
Yeah, because like, I mean? Okay, you're probably just lack of knowledge.
You just don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you're going over some shit. It looks faded to you. You're like 13. You fucking trying out your paint. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have a little bit more like patience for that shit than like some older writer who like has been following freights, forever. and then they're going over dead people. It's just like, bro, you know that this person is dead. You know?
Yeah, R.I.P. your career.
Yeah, right.
That's how to get people to really hate you very quick.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Someone asked, what's more blown up? Fuck, I don't want to say what he said because that'll clearly give away where it's at. I'll just bleep it out. Or Merit Walls. What's more blown out?
I would say, well, last time I went to it was like everything was cut down and there was like a
I know,
a camp like a house in front of the wall.
Dude,
you know, so I would say that
that was the thing that sucked, was like before there was so much bush that couldn't see you at all.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, bet, fucking this is chill, you know?
Right. No, it definitely was very chill for a while, but now I just feel like it's like I kind of feel like I don't even want to paint there because it's been it's there's so like somebody living there right now, like in the tunnel, you know. So
I mean, bums are cool. I always just offer them food and water and shit,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I go there,
yeah, but I feel like, well, actually, like the house was like on top of my old piece.
Oh, that's hilarious! So you're gonna have a forever runner.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what? That's funny. Actually, there's a cutty little spot. And I won't say where it's at, obviously. Well, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But it's like my like grow up spot when I was a kid. You know, I mean, like 13, getting into graffiti, and one time I went with my homie Musk, and we painted it, and it was just like, oh, we got like 30 minutes to kill.
Right.
And I looked at it this is not the other day. This is a while back, but I looked at it and I was like, God, I hate that fucking thing. I'm gonna go over it. Right. So I get down there, and sure enough, in that little section right in front, there's a guy living. Right. And I was just casually talking to him, and it ended up being like super sad, like his kid died and this and that. And I was just like, I'm not gonna fucking. So now I have like a forever runner behind him, and I fucking.
But you don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that I'm running, but still, it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I look at those spots like not like, for me, like those spots are just like just for the flick, just like I call it alphabetic calisthenics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just stretching the muscles, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, especially at like,
I think Merit, a lot of people hate on Merit because they always say like, oh, you go there and, you'll get gone over right away. And I'm just like, you know what, man? I'm so grateful we have a wall like that. Yeah. Where you could just go hang out for like an hour or two. Know that no one's going to bother you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially as like a fucking old person with responsibilities and fucking
right.
I want a spot like that where like I'm not trying to fucking go to a hot boy spot. Yeah. Like I'm just trying to do some like some fucking like self therapy graffiti.
Right. Just flex for a little bit, have some fun, get the flick and leave.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm not really like stressing it running. It's cool if it does. Or if it, but I'm like, I'm not really stressing that, what I mean? And then if I have a spot that I know is going to run, I'm going to spend a little more time on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Word.
So I would say those and I'm like happy to have those for, even the mission alleys are kind of similar to that too, where it's just like this shit's going to get.
What's nice about the mission alleys though is that it does run for a while.
Yeah.
You'll hit
something. Right, they're a little more curated, like they're not like just free for all.
Yeah, I was shocked. I just recently got gone over there.
Oh yeah.
But it like ran for a year and a half, and I was like, wow, that's like the longest I've ever ran in the mission.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple spots there, and then one of them just got hit recently. Somebody just sent me a flick, and there's like all these like bus hopper like RIP tags all over the whole wall, and I'm just like, that fucking sucks. Like I don't want to like, I'm not really mad. Like a piece has been running for a while.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite shit anyway.
You let it run for a month, and
but
then
I'm
you
like,
go over it.
I don't really want to go over it. Like, just on the off chance that Actually, real quick, one time I was painting in the mission alleys, and it was me and a couple other people, and this dude came up like hella quick and like in a car, like pulled up like skirted up kind of like quick, shit. Jumped out. I was like, what the fuck? What y'all write? And like just talking like, and he wasn't
hella aggressive.
Super aggressive, and he looked like, you know, he looked like he was about that life a little bit. You know what I mean? But he was younger. Like he was definitely. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just assess the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what's going on. And the people, like one dude was from out of town, and I felt like they were like a little more on edge than I was feeling. I was just getting that sense, you know. I was like, I don't think this dude is really trying to. There's like 3 of us and 1 of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe he's strapped, but you know, let's just see what it is. And I just started talking to him, like, and I was like, yeah, man, you know, I write this, blah, blah. What do you write? And he was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then it was like he just immediately like chilled out, you know what I mean? And he thought that he was like, oh, I thought y'all was with blah, blah, blah. Like he thought we were in some other crew that had gone over his friend.
Oh, yeah,
he was like,
just checking the territory.
Yeah, he was just like, he was, you know, he was actually looking to fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would have like, he was
if y'all were the wrong people.
Yeah, he was a wild kid. He would have tried to fight 3 of us at once. Is
That's
what
fire.
It came
Kid
out.
got heart.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and I was like, damn, dude, like I was like, no, man, we got no beef with you or whatever. And it, you know, and then we just kicked it, and he was like, y'all want to smoke a blunt? And I'm like, no, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it was all good, but it was like, you know, that shit still happens.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. The last time I was in the mission, I think it was actually this piece that just got over that I was just talking about. I was hanging out with the homie. It's just me and him.
Yeah.
And, you know, these fucking like, you know, these guys definitely look the part.
Right.
Pulled up in the Lolo.
Right.
And like, hey, homie. I was like, what's up, dude? You know, just like, I gave him like a little dap.
Yeah.
And he's like, you sell weed? And I was like, I definitely do not.
Yeah, right.
I'm just painting, bro. And he was, all right, for sure, bro. He's like, you have a good one. And then he pulls out like a little meth pipe and starts hitting it and freebasing it right in front of me. And then he like skeets off. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've definitely had that.
That's the funniest shit to me is like, we were talking about weed just a second ago. Why
Right.
did that escalate
Right.
so much bigger than it needed to be?
It's a gateway drug.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And the mission, I love the mission. It's so much fun. You never know what you're going to get into there.
No, it's true. It is a weird little melting pot.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up on 22nd and Treat, so
okay.
I'm very, very well versed in the crazy things that happen in the mission.
Yeah, see, I landed when I first lived in SF, it was 24th in Florida, so
okay, sick.
not far.
Yeah, not at all.
And it was not how it is now.
Oh no, yeah, it's changed.
Especially that corner was, you know. Oh, actually, York and 24th was even more wild, but that corner was pretty.
What year did you move into San Francisco?
Like 96.
96. Okay. Word.
It was like, it was.
I was 9.
Okay. Yeah. So you could have.
Yeah. Actually,
could have been.
I think we were still. Yeah, I think we were in the mission because we had someone die in front of our house.
Oh wow.
Someone get shot.
I had the worst. It's like a fucked up story, but there was like a shooting gallery. Like people used to shoot up heroin, like right behind my house on 24th in Florida.
Damn.
All day. I used to sit at my desk drawing and watch people shooting up. It was really sad.
Yeah.
And, one time, it's now, you can't even, it was like an empty lot, and now there's like a building there.
Sure.
But, I remember one time, definitely the only time I ever called the cops, there was a couple with kids.
Yeah.
And they were shooting up, and the kids were just playing in the fucking thing, and one of the kids like started wandering into the street, like little kids. That shit fucked me up. I was really and that was the only time I was like, you know, I was pretty young too at the time, you know, but I was just, you know.
I mean, it gets to a point, right? Then you're like, okay,
I was just like, I don't know, you know. Now I would, you know. Now I would know more of what to call, you know what I mean? Like you know,
Child Protective Services.
Yeah, or something, you know, but it shit was fucked up, man. Like 2 parents shooting out. Like
drugs are sad, man.
Yeah.
Stay away from drugs, kids.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'd done it my whole life. Stay away from them.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah. Most people didn't.
I definitely did a fair amount, but I look back now, and if anything, for the youth, You know, because I mean, nowadays it's like drugs are even harder.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, people are drinking fucking lean.
Right.
Well, that shit's even getting illegal, but it's basically liquid heroin, and people are going into opiates, and this,
Right.
it's fucking terrible. But, yeah, you know, I look back at that now, and I'm like, you know, all those raging nights, I don't remember a single one.
Right. So you can't even take it with you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like those memories, those core memories are like completely gone. I don't remember my 20s at all. I'm just like, dude, what a shame.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah. And you can, no, that's fucked up.
Word. So speaking on that,
Anyway.
right. You know, before we sign off and shit, because I know you have to get going, but any advice or anything like that for the youth that you can think of? Not to put you on the spot or anything like that, but like.
Yeah, I mean, like what we were talking about before, I feel like I've been, you know, like I just kept my focus on what I felt passionate about my whole life, and I've been had all these amazing opportunities. I've been really lucky, obviously. Yeah. To have a.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. But I think, you know, but you know, stay focused. You know, like has been a. Yeah. You know, like I have stayed focused on that shit. That really
keep pushing what you're doing.
You know, like keep on. As like, you know, my old boss Jake used to always say that. Keep on doing what you're doing. Like, and that shit is kind of real. Like, keep on doing what you're doing, man. And you know, like
it'll turn into something.
Like if you really, if it's important enough to you to like, keep doing it. Yeah. Other people are going to recognize that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's going to it has a value already. You know what I mean? Like what I was saying about graffiti still interests me 30 some years later. I mean, the shit, you know, there's a value to it, you know, if not just to myself. Like it's not even really a joke that I'll go to Merit for like a therapy day. That shit is really therapeutic for 100%. My whole life. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, and there's a value in that. You know?
Sometimes you need a break from the norm and like going and painting for like 3 hours and all you're thinking about is the technique. You don't think about your bills. You don't think about like, you know, fucking. Yeah.
And the weird thing about graffiti is like, I don't get that from like painting a canvas. I don't even get it from like a full-on legal wall. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like actually it's ironic. Like I love a chill spot like Merit where you're still kind of out there and it's not like it's for writers. It's not for, you know what I mean? Like it's not for the general public somehow, you know what I mean? There's something that makes it a little bit more special or whatever, you know. I
mean really no one hits Merit right other than writers,
right?
So, I mean,
exactly, you know,
it's definitely the spot for us for sure, more than anything. I 100% agree. I
as much as I hate having to go there sometimes, you know, I do appreciate having a place like that, you know.
I think for the youth, practice Merit,
for sure.
We're obviously not going to give away Merit, but if you find it on your own, I mean, paint that spot like crazy. But I will say this though, if you're willing to do the drive, just because I always love giving at least a little bit, you know, to the youth, there's a really dope wall behind the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma. That wall's sick as fuck. I mean, I totally contribute the beginning of like my graffiti career to that wall just because I would drive up there.
Man, I haven't been there in years. I would go back out there though.
There's cool. So that wall's super cool because you could just pull up, paint, no one bothers you. Everyone expects that you're gonna be painting graffiti there. Great spot to practice and get your skills up.
No, it's true. That's what my kids always fucking clown me because it's anytime they ask me like, how do you do this, Dad? And every time, always I'm like, practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes better. That's what I always say.
I like that better. Right, because nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect, but practice definitely makes better. And it's like, you know, I've been you keep on doing what you're doing.
Right on. You know? Famous words by Jake Phelps. Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. Well, you know, I want to thank you so much for coming, you know, to the show. Obviously, it sucks that the first time I had technical difficulties and couldn't figure it out, but you know, new card, it's still recording.
Yeah. I feel like I did one thing I did on that other one that I didn't was really give props to the people in my crew that I really appreciate. And I definitely want to shout.
Oh, please. By all means.
TCI, like all AKB. Those are my brothers and I really like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then all the man, like everybody that has been so influential in my life that I would not be a part of like without graffiti, you know? You know, like I was talking about Cycle earlier, you know, shout out. We haven't talked as much in the past few years, but
sure.
You know, Jace, like all those people that I mentioned, you know, that are not in my crew, like that shit is like, I just like.
It's contributed to who you are as a person today.
Yeah, you know, even if it's, you know.
Even if it's in passing, right? It's still something that was able to bring.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
you know?
100%.
I appreciate all those people, you know.
That's awesome, man. Well, you know, obviously the end of the episode, want to do links at True54 AKB TCI on Instagram.
That's my Instagram, yep. And then
any website or anything like that? No.
You know, there is actually I think True54.com is still up, and there's
shit.
There's nothing on there. But I still own there might be like a holding page or something, but you know, I think there is a holding page, but
Word.
I don't know. I got to get my shit together and get the self-promotion shit going.
Word. Let me know, you know, if you need anything.
Yeah. Instagram, that's the main way to see my graffiti for sure.
Me, I'm, you know, Bay_area_graffiti. My personal graffiti page, what's your name? But name is spelled Naym, Myan backwards. Thanks guys for listening, and we will see you on the next episode. Try to be more consistent, not have no 3-4 months fucking break.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, no, that was really on me, because just like, you know, life got crazy, but you know, we out here.
Yep, for sure. All right, thanks, man. Appreciate
Peace.
What is this rush thing? What is the rush that you get from it?
The ultimate rush. Nothing can beat it. No drugs, no nothing.
Are you the kind of person who goes up on those signs on the freeway?
Yeah, more than anyone.